Eleanor and Venandah. One of you works. Eleanor, you work, I think. Venandah, you don't. Why not?
Yeah. I don't work particularly because I've heard of many young people who've gone through difficulties when going to apply for jobs. I mean, currently in this economic climate, there's over 1 million under 25-year-olds who are unemployed. And the question is simply, how do we compete? We're simply 16 and 17 and we don't have a degree, so it's quite hard to get those regular Saturday jobs.
Or is it, Venandah, that you don't need to work at this stage because you're 17, so you don't want to?
In a way, I do want to work because of the extra income, but sometimes I feel like it's best for me at the moment, considering the fact that I do the International Baccalaureate. So I think I'd find it quite difficult to juggle 7 subjects as well as a job at the same time, but other people seem to manage very well.
Eleanor, what do you do for a job on a weekend?
I'm a waitress at a golf club.
And how do you find it? I mean, is it beneficial to do something which is completely separate from your studies?
I find it beneficial because I'm currently applying to university at the moment, and I also study the International Baccalaureate, but I find that even though I'm a waitress and I'm looking into applying to economics at university, that I can tailor all of the skills that I use in my job to suit the course that I'm applying for in my personal statement.
And that's an interesting point, Venandah, actually, isn't it? That it can help you in your progress forward, but actually, I mean, I would say it gives you a bit of an insight into real life as well. I mean, would you sort of think that's a valid point?
Yeah, I do agree, but as well as me personally, I'd find it quite hard because of the extracurricular things that I do. I mean, I enjoy reading, and reading does take a lot of time, and I like to write. And doing all these things alongside my studies, for me personally, I'd find it hard to manage, even though I would like to be able to gain some extra income and a bit more experience as well.
It's interesting that there is this sort of line about saying it's because teenagers want to rely, just rely on the bank of mum and dad. I think that's probably a bit unfair. What do you think, Ella? I mean, obviously you've been through and you've found yourself a job. You're getting the extra income, but you must know, as Venandah is saying, that it is actually very difficult for teenagers to get a job in the current economic climate. Do you think teenagers are effectively being lazy, or is there a real difficulty finding employment when they want to?
I don't think there's so much of a difficulty because there is jobs out there, especially around this time of year, because a lot of shops look for Christmas temp staff. But I do think it's difficult managing the schoolwork and a job at the same time. And if they haven't got the right personality in order to do that, then it could become more difficult to concentrate on their schoolwork because they're more focused on their job.
Tony has just tweeted in saying, my teenager's applied for lots of Saturday jobs, she's just not being taken on. I think that is a problem a lot of people are facing. The nice thing with this, and the fact that you're on Sky this morning, and I know you're both involved with Sky News Stand Up Be Counted, is I guess you're able to communicate, Venandah, with a lot of other teenagers and get a sort of consensus of opinion as to what teenagers want to do with their spare time at the moment.
Yes, through my experiences with youth councils in the past, I've talked with many young people who have genuinely wanted to get a job, genuinely wanted to do something and broaden their skills for their CVs and personal statements. But the fact is, many employers in this day and age aren't taking a chance on young people, and the excuse they usually use is you don't have enough experience. But the question is, how can young people get experience if the people, like the employers themselves, aren't willing to take a chance on them?
Yeah, there's a catch-22, isn't it? Eleanor, Venandah, really good to talk to you this morning. Thanks for your time. I hope you have a good day at work, Eleanor, when you get there today. Thanks very much indeed.
Thank you.
And if you're aged between 16 and 25, you can have your say on Stand Up Be Counted, and you can see what other people think about Saturday jobs. Go to skynews.com/standupbecounted. On Twitter, it's Sky News, at Sky News SUBC, actually at Sky SUBC. So you can check all that out there and hear what other young people are having to say about it this morning.